Down go the Chiefs, but sadly, so does Mahomes. Where does this leave the future of Kansas City after a bitter, bitter playoff pill to swallow?
Green Bay and Denver. Green Bay in full control until, you guessed it, Jordan Love does it again. Not only do they lose the game, they could lose their prized trade piece. Green Bay's in trouble.
The latest playoff picture update and a very different outlook for our teams on Sunday Scaries with Bucks McGee.
Week 15. It's a lot of emotions here. Some of us are feeling kind of, oh, maybe there's a chance. Other teams are just looking back saying, what the hell happened this year? That would be the Chiefs. But wow, Nutmeg, this week's interesting.
That would be the Chiefs. Very, very nice, Bucks McGee. I thought you were going to take a little underhanded jab of my Colts.
No. Hey, you know what? Grandpa Phil was in it to win it today. I have nothing but respect for him. Nothing for respect. That man had to play again to get that next 5 years of NFL insurance, and he almost pulled it out. So nothing but respect for Grandpa Phil there.
Yes, the NFL's resident grandfather.
Slinging it and rolling with his walker and tennis balls, doing his thing.
Well, Bucks McGee, let's get the ball rolling right away and step into the Elimination Chamber.
Wow, I'm telling you, John Cena retires and we just keep on rolling. Let's do it.
What's up, Taps and Pints? Thanks for hopping on super early, my friend.
What's up?
So to kick this off, of course, and we have to prime the Chiefs discussion. So we will talk, yes, indeed, about a team that we have a lot of fun with this season, and sadly, we will not have any more fun with them because the Cincinnati Bengals were eliminated from playoff contention officially. I think practically they've probably been in that boat for a little while now, but in very embarrassing fashion, getting shut out to the Ravens, the fraudulent penthouse leading Baltimore Ravens.
Like it is what it is. At the end of the day, Burrow gets hurt earlier this year. They were climbing a mountain right from the very beginning. But what they have to look at is the freaking upper office of this organization. No help on defense. Did nothing. Had the whole Trey Hendrickson maybe getting traded, maybe not. They basically sign him for some money, but he's gone next year. His defense is in shambles. I think honestly, Joe's taken some backhanded, comments to the organization. It wouldn't surprise me that once his contract is close to being up, he's looking for out.
Joe Burrow gave me some Andrew Luck vibes this week when he's like, "Oh, if this isn't fun for me, why do I do it?" I'm like, "Oh, geez, this is like deja vu right now."
Right? It would have been crazy if he had just walked off during warm-ups, like, "All right, it's been fun. I'm gonna go work for LSU. I'll be a quarterback coach. Live my life."
Yeah.
It's sad. It's sad, man, because like that offense is great. The defense is just ridiculously bad, and I'm not going to sit here and give the Ravens, their some due props or something because this is a situation with the team that they should beat. But it wouldn't have surprised me if the Ravens somehow bungled this game. So, all right, Ravens, hooray for you.
Yeah. This is just making Steve Mariucci's eventual demise looking the kicking the can further down the road.
Because we all know the Ravens are winning that division, so this is a
Right.
foregone conclusion anyways. So
Yeah.
all right, Ravens, you survive another week. But yeah, this is like old Yeller, take the Bengals out and back, handle business, unfortunately. And now they really have got to look at this team as a whole and figure out what they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, I don't. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of fantasy owners don't want to see this, but at a certain point, with the state of their offensive line and their defense, it there would certainly be some logic to shutting down Burrow and Chase for the rest of the season.
Who are you talking about again?
The Bengals. Oh yes,
What are
I'm
they?
sorry. Right. Logic doesn't often play here.
Next week, Burrow throws like 52 passes. It's going to be a hot mess. Don't worry.
Yeah.
They'll figure out a way to mess this up. So, yes, in a perfect way, but they won't. And because their logic is, well, we need to have our guys out there because that's what the fans pay to see. Yeah, well, they pay to see a winner and not an organization totally screw the pooch and put out a team that's just not going to win. Yeah, you're going to score a ton of points, but you can't beat anybody. So it is what it is. Fantasy owners, you should be all right. I'd start them both. I'm sure they're going to put up points.
And what the fans definitely do not pay to see is star players getting hurt in a meaningless season going into the next year.
Yeah, but it's the Bengals.
Yeah. So Ravens, despite the shutout, not impressed. This is just beating the wounded dog here.
Yeah, it's seriously like what was there to be impressed about? Like honestly, basically you got the Bengals at full strength, all offense, no defense. The Ravens have talent on both sides of the ball. This is a team that the Ravens should, be able to beat. So no, I'm not impressed.
Yeah, I mean Derrick Henry they had Derrick Henry, another 100-yard game, but not against the Bengals defense. 100 yards feels like 40.
You get that 7 minutes into the first quarter. What are you talking about? Now, if you told me this was Denver and they did that, okay, now we're talking a little something. All right, you've piqued my interest. Unfortunately, the Bengals, no, because there's just no defense there. And I'm sorry, Joe Burrow doesn't play both ways, so there's nothing that can be done.
Yeah. We got a question here. Taps and Pints. What teams are QB needy that have trade assets? I have a feeling the Rams go all in.
Dude, the Rams are just waiting for Christmas, man. They're sending thank you letters to the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
QB need. Jets. I don't know if what really they have. They'd have to probably gut their defense some more. They do have Breece Hall, so I guess they'd be able to maybe do a little something in the draft. But these teams are going to have to move up because I don't think there's any current quarterbacks that are going to be on the move because there basically are none.
Yeah. the miracle of Breece Hall's continued Jet stay that is what it is.
Exactly. So the Jets maybe have a couple pieces they could move. New Orleans, not really. Their pieces are old. So whatever little bit of draft capital they have, they'd have to be all in.
And they're more likely to draft someone, as despite the win today, which we'll get into later. They're still pretty likely to get a high draft pick and more likely to take someone young and fresh than bring someone in that may be damaged goods.
Yeah, exactly. Miami's another one. I don't know if they're sold on Tua, so maybe they can just.
Speaking of damaged goods.
Yeah, exactly. So some of these teams have some pieces. Other ones, unfortunately, were the teams that put everything on the table and got nothing in return. So, but I think those are a couple of teams.
Yeah. All right. Fiesta Resistance here. Bucks McGee. We no longer have to await a week in and week out report of when the Chiefs season is officially over, because here it is. Is it Penny to do a clap up right here?
Under the circumstances, I don't feel it's right. I don't feel it's right. All right, taking out that situation, which we'll touch upon, I'm sure all of America somewhat felt a little exuberant until such accident happened. But yes, the Chiefs are out. For all of the professionals who swore that the Chiefs were ready to make this big run with all this weaponry once Rice returned and all, goes to show you that after a while the league kind of figures out who you are and you need quality weapons. So sorry, Kansas City. It is what it is.
Yeah, and I guess that the Chargers should feel pretty good about this one as well, because this is a team that got shredded by the Jaguars not too long ago, and here they are gritting out a very tough victory on the road in Arrowhead. The Chiefs, even in their diminished capacity that they have been this year, the Chargers still kind of have some demons to excise. So this has definitely got to feel good for the Chargers.
Oh yeah, it's one of those things where even throughout the season going into Arrowhead, you still had to be careful because Patty Mahomes still has that magic somewhat. So you had to respect that. And I think this is a good game for the Chargers mentally, to be able to go into this environment and eke out a win, say, hey, you know what? Maybe we didn't put up the points we could. Maybe we left points out on the field, but our defense was able to show up when we needed it. And, to pull out a win in Arrowhead, I'm impressed. So, hey, all the power to them.
A sweep of the Chiefs. It's not often we hear of sweeps of the Chiefs from anybody. I don't think it's happened in quite a while. And here we are. The Chargers won both games and won one with an offensive powerhouse performance in Brazil, and then win an ugly one here.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you hang your hat on it, but they can't really, dwell on it too much because they're fighting for a wild card spot. So they'll take this, probably feel good for a day or two and then get back to it, because right now Denver's pretty much got that division locked up. So it's just a matter of, who falls off on the wild card side, but give the Chargers their due.
Yeah, and Kansas City, of course, is as a bitter a pill as it is to swallow to be eliminated from the playoffs. This one comes with an extra bitter edge to it, as Patrick Mahomes' season is over with a torn ACL.
Wow, it's crazy. You hear that and you're like, oh man. So now it's, ACL, it's still a serious injury, no doubt about it. But, depending on the athlete, they can come back a lot sooner. But this is going to be interesting to see how he bounces back and to see what this team's makeup is next year. We don't know if Travis is coming back. I think this offense is really going to have to be retooled. You've got to get a run game. You really don't have a run game. I don't think you can go into the next season with Pachenko and Hunt as your guys. I think they may have to go and actually look to upgrade the position, which means probably those guys, one or both of those guys, are going to have to go. Your offensive line has been shaky the last couple of years. You can't find consistency there. Your defense is pretty much your best unit, but there's going to be a point where those guys are going to sooner or later going to have to start getting paid. And I don't know if they're going to be paying all those guys premium money. So you'll get some turnover there too. So, maybe, Chiefs fans don't want to hear it, but this could be the beginning of the end of the dynasty. Yeah, you'll still be competitive, but I don't think you're going to be, as elite as you were.
Well, and we spoke recently about Mahomes having the Mahomesian effect as far as those magical plays has been very sparse, if not completely non-existent this year. And coming off a torn ACL, it's very possible that the Mahomesian magic just does not exist anymore, at least in the same capacity where we're used to seeing those miracle plays, because that's obviously going to take something away from him physically to recover from that injury.
Well, yeah, it all depends how he recovers. I don't, depending the severity of the tear and everything like that, I don't know if he's going to be ready for the beginning of the season. Like I said, everyone is different. So let's say he's not there quite yet. And does Gardner Minshew take the reins for the first couple of weeks if he's not right? I don't know if that's the case. So it'll be interesting to see. I think they also have to kind of let him, tell him, hey, you know what? Don't rush it. You got to come back right, because literally that the offense is him. If he's not right and he comes back too early and messes that thing up even more, they're done. They're done. So I think they really need to start looking at, especially the backup situation. If Gardner Minshew is going to be the guy, or you look and, try to find somebody who can, kind of run this ship until Patrick's ready to come back. But it's also the pieces around him. You got to be able to run the ball. I'm sorry, for this offense to be what they want it to be, they got to be able to run the ball.
Yeah, and the timing of it is a notable point as well, because Malik Neighbors has the same thing, but he tore his in September, so the season was over very early, and he's got the entire season, the entire off season to rehab. Mahomes here has this happen in December, so a full surgery and recovery process, it could threaten the start of the season.
Yeah, exactly. And it all depends on the tear. It's true. If the tear is really severe, who knows? So right now they just have to sit there and say, okay, let's just focus on next year. That's just what it has to be.
So we don't get to revel in this glory as much as we like to, out of respect, but even the Chiefs being eliminated certainly is something to note, because, as I noticed, the first playoffs since 1998 without Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, or Patrick Mahomes.
Wow. That's what, 27 years? 27 years. Good Lord, man. Good
It's
Lord.
a whole generation.
Wow, crazy.
And as we move on to teams that are looking forward to the playoffs, one of these teams certainly is, and another one is beginning to grind into form, as we've kind of been waiting for it to happen, but still don't trust them. And we certainly didn't. We're probably going to be set up not to trust the Bills much the way this game started, falling into an early 21-0 hole. But maybe this is just a story of the Patriots' lack of maturity, and kind of, you're not on the big stage yet with us. Kind of getting shell shocked a little bit with this comeback at Buffalo.
Yeah, maybe this is one of those games that you need to get smacked in the mouth, and now it's like, all right, because they've been on a tear. Let's be honest, and we've talked about it, and we've said, for as great as they've looked, they haven't really, they haven't played anybody. Not their fault. We always say, they don't, teams don't control who's on the schedule. That's the NFL. So the meteoric rise of New England. So Buffalo's playing for everything every week now. They have to do whatever they can to make the wild card. I don't know if they can overtake New England. I still don't believe in it. I'm worried that next week maybe Buffalo just falls apart. Because some teams will come back from it and get a win like this and then come out totally flat the next week. I don't know if Buffalo can sustain that consistently, because we've seen them not be consistent. But you give them credit, to come back down 21-0. That's all the flowers. But yet again, it's the Josh Allen show. Cook showed up, for a little bit, but that defense is real. That defense is bad, and it's one of those things where that defense is kind of mirrors Cincinnati, where you hope they don't give up too much, and hopefully they can get a key stop here and there. But Buffalo survives another week.
Yeah, the running backs were the tail in this one, because James Cook poured in a hat trick, and Travion Henderson had 2 house calls of very long distance. Now, on one hand, I can look at the Travion Henderson one, like, okay, this is not surprising. We know, as you just mentioned, Buffalo's defense is not great. They try and they fight, but they just don't have the pieces. They've dealt with injuries quite a bit this year, so that one I'm not so surprised with. But James Cook tearing up the Patriots defense, this is a unit that has been of the better ones this year, and we've been kind of impressed with keeping them afloat while Drake May figures out how to do this quarterback thing.
It's one of those things on the New England side. I think Buffalo was really keen on stopping Drake May, stopping the passing game, and I think this game, if it hasn't already, solidifies that Henderson's arrived. The kid is a great talent. The kid has shown unbelievable stuff throughout the season. He's legit, and teams really have to plan for him. So I think that's what happened with Buffalo. I think they were more concerned with the pass than the run. And then, as the game went on, even though he's still, but he had a 50 and like a 67 yarder, I think, he was still doing his thing. When it comes to the Buffalo side, it's okay. We got to stop Superman. Got to stop Josh Allen. And when you put all your eggs in that basket, Cook is going to eat. He's going to do his thing. He's as talented a back as there is in the league, and he can bust one out. He can make guys miss. He's legit. He's an elite back. So it's just one of those things where New England got caught flat-footed, and maybe they stop a drive, one or two drives, and we're having a different conversation. But it's something that they're going to learn. I think Vrabel will have those guys understanding what they did wrong, and they'll learn from it.
And it definitely signals a change in Patriots culture, but definitely a different identity in the Vrabel era from how they operated under Bill Belichick, because aside from that one solo year with Corey Dillon, New England has always been running back by committee. Between James White, Antoine Smith, if you go back far enough. I mean,
your favorite one. Don't forget your.
No.
Don't forget about Mr. Gray. Mr. Gray. Don't disrespect him.
The one game career of Jonah Gray. Yes.
Jonah Gray, 4 tutties.
Never to be heard from again after that.
Sometimes you just need one game. But no, that's it exactly. It was during that era. There was always, it was committee. There was never that number one superstar. It was okay. We've got guys for different situations, and that's how they performed. This one is, it's Drake. It's Drake May runs the show, and now it's Henderson. They've got young wide receivers, and the defense is solid, and I think they'll build upon that. I think they probably will dabble in free agency in the offseason and tighten this thing up even more. But for right now, this is a learning lesson, and they're just they'll get better from it.
Close the door on the Ramondre Stevenson experiment. It didn't work.
You know what? I don't know if it didn't work. I just think that Henderson just has more speed. I just think he's not just a banger. He can do it all. So I think it also helps. Then Stevenson baby becomes a trade chip.
Oh yeah. Hey, like we just said, the Chiefs need a running back. Maybe they'll take him.
There you go, man. He could be, right now he's kind of looking like Lawrence Maroney. God, Lord, that name, Lawrence Maroney.
Tony Maroney.
Good Lord.
All right. So we're gonna do a little bit of an extended edition of our favorite games to play on Sunday, Scaries.
Extra point. Steven Janikowski. Steven Janikowski, baby.
Yeah. So our extra points this week is going to be an updated look on the playoff picture, the rush to the postseason.
Excuse me. Oh man, this is a cluster if you've ever seen it, folks. Oh Lord, yeah. Lord.
And the first one, Bucks McGee. As much as you were down on your Tampa Bay Bucks after a loss to the dismal Falcons, somehow the Carolina Panthers do not want to take this, do not want to control this, and they have kept your Bucks in the mix, pushing off your looking forward to baseball season one more week.
Division leading NFC South, the garbage division, baby. Tyler Shuck, for 1 week, I give you respect. Dude, I don't know, man. Like literally, I woke up this morning and I was like, I went to Universal today, kind of had to clear my head. I had a rough couple days, And so I was like, you know what? Let me just push a little football away. I, of course, check scores, check everything, but I need to step away from the rituals and everything. And lo and behold, Tyler Shuck said, "Don't worry, buddy. We got you. we had to hurt you at home, but we're going to give you something for Christmas. I have no idea what happened. Carolina was fully in control of this game, but lo and behold, boom, Saints dig it out, and we somehow stumble into first place.
It's like Tyler Shug thinks that he will have a chance to be the starting quarterback next year instead of who's ever at the top of the draft board for the Saints.
Like literally, and you've talked about it. There's certain teams just let it go, man. Like there's nothing to play for. Let's look for the future. But at the same time, you don't, you're not trying to give up. You want to, play hard and such. And they played hard, and this is a lesson for Carolina. I think it's one of those situations where maybe they were feeling themselves a little too much, and when you have the chance to, especially this time of year, to take hold of a division, you got to do it, especially this quality NFC South. You got to do it. And basically what you've done is given Tampa some life. I don't know if it really means much. We'll find out. But, it comes down, the way this division comes down to is they've got 2 games against each other. Tampa sweeps it, Tampa's in. If not, and, somehow Carolina loses some other games, Tampa somehow survives. But Carolina's just they got to grow up a little bit. Got to grow up. Got to finish the job.
Yeah. The NFC South is the driver of this question from Taps and Titans. When do we just go best records instead of division winners? Blow up the whole division structure.
I don't think they ever will. I don't think they'll ever will. I don't think the owners would ever let that happen because that's money. It comes down to money. If a team that, somehow, let's say, finishes, 8 and 9 and wins the division, they're going to get their game. It's not right, but those owners are going to say, well, we won our division. We want our one game. We want our playoff game. So
yeah,
until they fix that structure, it's not going to happen. So as long as you're a division winner, you're getting that game, and you could literally be 8 and 9.
Yeah, this is the Panthers here is almost maybe not obviously the Patriots are so far out in front of where the Panthers are, but a kind of a similar mentality of maybe the Panthers just aren't ready for primetime yet. I mean, Bryce, he's gotten by with pretty less means this year, but this one, like, he can't manufacture wins out of nothing, and this was another example. I mean, Rico Dottle got the scoring going early, but then was pretty much a non-factor the rest of the way.
It's the question of do you believe that is Bryce your guy? Is he your long-term guy? Like, he had some throws today that were great. Like, from where he was when he first started in the league to now, leaps and bounds. But is he your guy? They've got receivers. I think the defense is solid. I don't think it's horrible. They got Josh Norman back, so of course, they're elite. It's I don't know. I think that's the question, and I think a lot of people in Carolina wonder, is Bryce the guy?
Yeah, and I mean, it's funny from the Saints' perspective. I mean, they don't have anything to play for right now, but it's like they're not getting the memo of now's the time to lose.
Yeah, but I think with Moore, first year coach, he doesn't want, you're trying to create a culture, and I think they're just going to play hard. I think some of those guys, especially like Cam Jordan, they're older guys. They're a couple of years, if not like a year or two away from saying, okay, it's been fun. So they're still going to play hard. Carolina should have won this game. At the end of the day, Carolina, regardless, should have won this game. They played down to the talent, and they got caught in the trap, and that's what happens. So this very well could be the game that bites them, and they look back at their season and say, well, all we had to do was beat the Saints, and we would have won the division.
Once. I mean, you want to win the division, you want to host the playoff game. That was redundant, I know. You can't go again. You can't go and get in Swift. I'm really screwing this English up. You can't get swept by the Saints. I'm sorry, it can't happen.
Yeah, and especially this, like I said, this time of year. You look back at your season. There's one or two games where you're like, that's where it happened, and this very well could be it for Carolina. But then, if that's the case, they have to go into the offseason and they have to really answer. They have to really say, is Bryce the guy? If he's the guy, then you go all in with whatever extra pieces you need to get to make him successful.
Yeah, build up the offensive line. Maybe include. I mean, Dowdle's been great, but is he the long-term answer there? Bring in some more weapons, a new tight end, maybe.
They've got the receivers are great. They've got some talent. If you can beef up, on both sides, then you do what you got to do. You don't want it to be a situation where you go in next year and you're like, oh yeah, but we were so good last year, blah blah blah. And then before you know it, you're like 3-12, and you're like, oh man, what happened?
Yeah. Well, there was a bit of a shootout in SoFi on this one. The Lions got out pretty quickly, but sure enough, their defense kind of fell by the wayside, and Matthew Stafford took over, and they just poured numbers on. Kyron had a big game. Puka piled on the yards. Cody Parker did caught a couple touchdowns. The Rams' offense is very hard to stop. The Lions' defense is not in a position to do so, and the uh, the Lions couldn't keep up with this.
We've said it, about halfway through the season. We said, hey, the Rams offense is probably the best in the league, and their defense is young and it's solid. They may, have some hiccups here and there, but that we kind of figured that this was going to be the team in the NFC for sure. And they're just proving it. We talked about the Lions the last couple of weeks. Like, they're basically, is their window closed? They're just, they can score, but their defense is really not that great. And this is the perfect point. The Rams got stops when they needed to. Lions can't, and unfortunately, Goff is solid, but Goff does not have the talent of Matthew Stafford, even though Matthew Stafford's older. Let's be real. But Stafford's slinging it, doing his thing. He's got all the weapons around him. The Rams are dangerous. There's no doubt. And I give the Lions credit, but it's really a situation of what is this team going to be going forward? The defense really needs to be checked. The secondary especially. I know they've had injuries, but this seems to be every year now. The last couple of years has been, oh no, great up front, but the back end just gives up these big shots. They're injured. They're this, they're that.
Yeah,
Rams are legit.
That quarterback flop isn't exactly aging like fine wine.
And I don't, and Goff has been great for Detroit. It's just this time of year, this is when they start to fall apart. They're great for 3/4 of the year. And then next thing you know, it's what happens. And they're not winning the division. And we talked about them. We talked about where they stood in the playoffs. They needed the Niners to literally fall apart. I think they're on the outside, and they're going to stay on the outside. I don't think they have the chance to make it.
Yeah, as Taps brings up, their playoff percentage now stands at a whopping 34%.
Weirder things have happened. Maybe the Niners just blow chunks the rest of the season. I don't know. But right now, the way the Lions are constituted, they can score points. But if they're going up against a legit offense, their defense, with the injuries and all, can't stop it. Can't stop them.
Interesting hypothetical here. Someone really wants Joe Burrow to get dealt around.
You know what? If I'm the Lions, if I could do it, yeah. I think he said the Vikings too, but those are two teams that need a legit franchise quarterback. And yeah. Goff is solid, but he's right now he's probably the second best in that division. I think you have to give Love number 1. I'd give him 2, Caleb 3. And that's only because freaking JJ McCarthy is just horrible.
9.
Yeah, 9. But if you were to tell me the Lions were able to somehow come up with a package, get Joe Burrow, and still would be able to do something and kind of shore up that defense, maybe get a couple other cornerbacks, even if you got to go like a rotational kind of way, so guys are going to be healthy, that changes that offense dramatically.
That's a weird statement to make this over the season we've had on the show, to still put Jordan Love as number one. He's hanging on to that by a very thin thread.
He is, but and of course we'll get to him, but unfortunately, if you looked at that division and had to pick one quarterback for your life to win you a game, like legit win you a game, I think a lot of people would pick Jordan Love.
Yeah. Well, ooh. Well, that's true. Well, the jury's still out on Caleb, but yeah, you're probably right.
I would love to say Goff, but it's like he's good, but it's just there's just something, I don't know. Maybe so, maybe Goff would be the guy too. Like I said, they can score. It's just their defense that's just letting them down. So I don't know, man. The Lions are in some trouble.
I think you struck a nerve here with Taps.
You know what? I give the Niners all the credit in the world. I believe Mac Jones should be your starter. I just think Mac Jones saved your season. There's no doubt about it. If Mac Jones isn't there, they lose those games. I don't know who they would have. They'd probably have Gardner Minshew, and then you'd just be sitting there waiting for next year. Like, let's be honest. I'm not trying to be rude, but Mac Jones took hit after hit. That man, there'd be some games he'd cut up lip, just looking bad. But you know what? He got them to where they were at, and now you got, there's Brock Purdy. The defense is still, kind of iffy, but hey, they're winning games. You got to give them credit.
Yeah. As we revitalize a topic from earlier in the season, as the NFC West turns, the Rams win in pretty exciting fashion, and sadly, to my Colts, chances, so do the Seattle Seahawks. This one, I mean, Phillip Rivers. Hey, you know what? You don't play in 5 years. You're looking quite Jared Lorenzen-ish. Out there on the field. God rest his soul, of course. But this, I mean, it's interesting that Phillip Rivers was able to come in completely cold and still have a semi-successful game and almost pull this one out.
Yeah, no, I totally give him respect. I was impressed. I'm like, look at Phillip Rivers just out here slinging it. All 48 years old or whatever he is. The man was hoping that a team would call because his insurance was about to run out, they said. So basically, now that he's playing, he gets a new 5 years worth of insurance. Because that's how the league works. When you retire, they give you 5 years of insurance, and then after that, you're on your own. You're over there going on Marketplace trying to find you a great deal. Him and his 12 kids and 50 grandchildren. But now he's back in the league, and look at it. He's getting his new 5 years. But we digress. He kept it close. He kept them in the game, and that's all that anyone in Indy would want.
This is to tie these two topics together. Tie these two topics together. I don't know about a first-round pick, but I might take that deal.
Mac Jones, and who else would you give him? Who else could you give him? I'd give him a fourth. I'd say a fourth. A fourth. Yeah, I think, Mac Jones would do something for you guys. Legit. Mac Jones he got a raw deal in New England, and I think he's going to sign with somebody, and he's going to be better than a serviceable quarterback. He's going to be a solid guy.
Yeah. But also, we don't have any first round picks to give. They're all with the New York Jets. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sauce Gardner. I'm telling you teams just be throwing around first rounders like they're nothing. You guys swear, everyone swears they're the Rams. Oh, we don't need first rounders. Give them away. We'll just buy our Super Bowl. Sit for a couple years in purgatory, then hope a stupid team like the freaking Falcons decide to give all stuff up.
Yeah.
But
now going into this huge game on Thursday between the Rams and the Seahawks, I mean, the Rams looked like they're in full form after beating the Lions, but obviously the Seahawks didn't. They barely beat the Colts. They struggled to beat a 44-year-old quarterback who hasn't played in 5 years. So, I mean, is this necessarily not a great look for Seattle going into that game?
No. If you're looking at that game, you're like, wow, Philip Rivers almost beat you. Now you have to go and play the Rams, and you've got probably the league MVP, and his treasure trove of weaponry, and you're supposed to stop that when you barely stopped Grandpa Phil. I don't know. It doesn't look good. So what's going to have to happen is they're going to have to come out not only offensively, but their defense is going to have to really clamp it down.
Yeah. And the Rams defense, I mean, they gave up 34 points to the Lions, and their offense is, very good still, but has some question marks here and there, certainly with consistency. But the Seattle, if the Colts defense with their much maligned secondary this year struggles against the Colts weapons, then the Seattle's defense also is not in the greatest of shapes.
I don't know what it is because they've got talent on that side of the ball. I think their secondary is great. They've got talent around. I don't know what it is, but if they want any chance in this game, they're gonna have to come out and just handle business. They're gonna have to get to Stafford. That's the key to this whole thing. If they can't get to Stafford, it's gonna be a long day.
Well, Bucks McGee, speaking of chances, your Bucks very much got one. So take us off air with your final thoughts of Week 15.
You know what? Sometimes hope comes from the most unlikely of places. New Orleans, you'll never hear me say this again, but thank you. New England, you guys got to pony up, got to figure it out. Had the chance to basically end Buffalo for the most part, but you got to figure it out, get it done. Injuries aplenty. Mahomes, we hope you're back next year. Micah, hopefully it's not that bad. Green Bay had the game today. Got to pull out these games. Week 15, kind of a blur, kind of weird. Week 16 is probably going to be twice as bad, but hey, that's why we love this game.